I am John Elliott Churchville, and the topic of this video Wednesday is Your Creative Day. This is the second in a series of Wednesday videos that will provide you with some insights into yourself. My goal is to help you shut out the noise of mass media, along with the opinions of your family and friends, and go into the secret closet of yourself to think positively and meditate lovingly into yourself. If this series of video Wednesdays just scratches the surface of getting at what I sincerely desire for you, I will have succeeded in my mission to be of some benefit to you. In this video Wednesday, I will cover seizing your creative day, moving through your creative day, and thriving in your creative day. Today is a brand new day for you. By its very nature, it is a creative day, a day for new thoughts, new beginnings. The way to seize this day is to ask yourself some serious core questions. What matters to me? What do I really care about? What makes me happy? What brings me joy? What gives me a good feeling that lasts? What good thing makes me feel good? Now, don't avoid answering these questions. Your answers are your own personal footpath to the inner you, the real you. So be patient with yourself. If you find it hard to think about and answer these questions this very moment, you're worth whatever time it will take you to finally settle down and look at yourself with loving, non-judgmental eyes. Relax and don't beat yourself up if you cannot get yourself to think on the questions right now. That's okay. Thinking creative thoughts about yourself is a process that takes some time. If you can't engage the questions today, there's always tomorrow. Just your being exposed to the questions to ask yourself will bring you to answer them sooner than you can imagine. It's just a matter of mental suggestion that will work itself out in you. You will deal with the questions in your own time while you're awake or asleep. And that time will be the right time for you. In the meantime, allow yourself to imagine what your life would be like if you were happy with yourself, your surroundings, and the people who would be in and part of your life. As you imagine these things, pay attention to your good feelings. Your good feelings are the spiritual fingers you will use to seize this creative day. When your feelings are good, the thoughts and imaginings that produce those feelings are good. Always follow the good thoughts that bring you good feelings. In the original creation story, in the beginning, the earth was formless, empty, and darkness was over the surface of the deep. It was then that the Spirit of God hovered over the face of the waters and began his creative activity. In the same way, your creative activity must always begin in a formless, empty, and dark environment. It is the dark place of perceived injustice, lack, need, trouble, anguish, distress, pain, or just your desire for positive change in your life that calls forth your creative activity to begin hovering within you. This activity will feel extremely uncomfortable to you because it may arise from anger, discontent, or any number of responses to your circumstances that are uniquely your own. Go with your own flow. Trust your own instincts. This is not the time to seek someone else's advice. You need not understand what is happening to you in order to create something good out of nothing for you. Your feeling of disturbance or discontent in any given situation is the sign that you have the power to do something positive about what bothers or concerns you. Aim your thoughts toward the root of the disturbance in you and let them go free. There are things that you already know that you are not consciously aware of, but as you think freely, This knowledge you already have will come to your mind. Spend time with the positive thoughts that come into your mind until one clear thing comes to your mind that you can do immediately. Then go and do that one thing, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant it may seem. When you obey your own command, you will open the way for more light and direction to come to you for the next step you are to take. Learn to listen to your own heart and mind. The inner you is a deep wellspring of wisdom and knowledge. Give yourself time to let that water of wisdom and knowledge percolate up to your conscious mind. Just remember that when it does come up, you must obey and do what you know to do. Next, consider harnessing your power of speech. Your speech is more powerful than anything else because it creates out of nothing whatever you consistently speak. Speech does not follow religious guidelines or moral laws. It is a universal law that is morally neutral. Use the law of speech well and create good, life affirming things. Use it wrongly and create evil, life denying things that come back to bite you. What this means is that whatever you speak continuously will come into existence, whether the spoken thing is good, bad, or indifferent. The law of speech is one of the central laws that drives systems, products, and service innovations. New systems, products, and services begin their existence as non-material ideas that people have the courage to speak again and again. Invention and innovation begin with speaking the rearrangement of known created things into a new form. It is the power source that the all originating Spirit of God has placed in your hands that allows you to create your own future. The law of speech requires that you not only speak wholeness, but also commit your active intention, your focused life force to the subject of your speech. In other words, your speech must be accompanied by your specific actions that are aimed at realizing or manifesting what you have spoken. Your positive speech without actions is useless in the same way that your faith without accompanying actions has no value. It is your positive speech backed by your positive actions that must overcome the inertia of the status quo to produce your desired new outcome or result. That is why your focused attention, which is your laser beam intention, is the catalyst that brings about the birth of the creative activity that you set in motion by your positive speech followed by your positive action. If you're looking for a way to free yourself from the economic and social limitations that are negatively affecting your life, then speak the new situation you have imagined for yourself. Write that imagined dream down and begin to take action toward realizing your dream. The way to move through your creative day is to use the wisdom approach to living your life. Proverbs 9:10 says, the fear or reverence of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. The fear or reverence of God is where wisdom begins, but beyond the beginning of wisdom lies a continuing of behaviors and ways of being that constitute its existential dimensions in your lived experience as a creative person. These behaviors include living a disciplined, focused lifestyle, developing the habit of functioning from a God perspective, cultivating your discernment to apply both natural and spiritual knowledge to the situations that confront you in life, and having a firm determination to create only good on this earth. If you're seeking personal transformation, expansion, and evolution, then you will strive to live as an ordered, intentional, and focused life in which you choose to function from a God mindset that is facilitated by your superconscious mind, the mind of Christ that is within you. Your God mindset enables you to discern how to apply book knowledge and natural knowledge, as well as Bible knowledge and spiritual knowledge into every situation you face. Because you desire to become a transformed, expanded, and evolved person, you will come to understand your need for book knowledge and natural knowledge. This involves serious study of those subjects and human experiences that directly impact your own life. You will also need Bible knowledge and personal spiritual knowledge. This involves study of the scriptures in the context of applying them to your continuing quest to be, do, and have more good in your life. When you practice this consistently, you bring about the will of the all originating Spirit of God for your life, and you become wise in the process. Just because you have determined to control your own life and destiny, you better expect your family and friends to look at you differently because you've chosen a path for yourself that is very different from the paths they have taken. This will lead them to criticize you at best or consider that you have lost your last mind or your sanity at worst. So here's a story I once read that I hope will help you overcome the challenge of handling the criticism of those nearest and dearest to you. Once there was an old man, a young boy, and an old donkey. The three were traveling along on a long journey with the old man riding on the back of the donkey and the young boy walking beside the donkey. When they entered the first town, the townspeople were furious with the old man for making the boy walk while he rode on the donkey. They criticized the old man, accusing him of child abuse and being a cruel and selfish old man for making that young boy walk while he rode. Shaken and deeply hurt by the townspeople's criticism, the old man got off the donkey, placed the young boy on the donkey's back, and walked beside the donkey as they continued on their journey to the next town. When they reached the next town, the townspeople there were outraged that the young boy had the audacity to ride on the donkey's back while he forced the old man to walk beside the donkey. They criticized that boy sharply, accusing him of being mean and disrespectful of his elders. The young boy was deeply hurt to the point of tears and got off the donkey's back. After collecting themselves and their thoughts, the old man and the young boy came up with an ingenious plan to avoid any further criticism from townspeople who would meet them on their journey. They decided to tie the donkey on a pole and each of them to take one end of the pole and so carry the donkey as they journeyed on to the next town. Well, of course, you know the next part of the story, and you know about the severe criticism they will meet at the next town. Now, the obvious moral to this story is that no matter what you say about or choose to do about or with your life, there will always be townspeople, people around you who will criticize you. What this means is that you have to have the courage to follow the law of your own being. In other words, you must be strong enough to trust your own instincts if you desire to be one of the few who move in their own path to use their creative day to create a glorious future for themselves. When you use your creative day to carve out a glorious future for yourself, you will need to remember that everything, once created, operates through an orderly process of growth. Now, what am I saying? It brings me now to the law of the farmer. The law of the farmer teaches that what seed is planted today in a field will not grow so quickly that it will be ready to be harvested today, nor will what is harvested in the future bear any resemblance to the actual seed you plant today. The law of the farmer also teaches that crops take a long time to grow. Accordingly, you must develop the patience to wait for whatever seed you have planted today to grow in its own time and at its own pace. It cannot be rushed. In the same way, you must learn to be patient with yourself as you grow and mature. You will not conquer bad habits or develop heightened self awareness overnight, but you must plant seeds in the ground of your mind as you move through your creative day. The law of the farmer also teaches that no seeds will take root in soil that has not been prepared to receive them. You must continue to repeat to yourself who you are, what we covered in video 1. Remember that repetition is the only way to dislodge the negative self-image you have of yourself that limits what you believe about yourself and your true potential. Your repetition of the answer you have learned about who you are is what prepares the soil of your subconscious mind to receive the new seeds of your personal transformation, expansion, and evolution. Your mastery of 4 critical universal laws, and that's what you're going to get at now, will support you as you thrive in your creative day. The law of iron will empowers you to make a decision that you will unwaveringly carry out, despite whatever obstacles or apparent impossibilities confront you. You cannot afford to second guess yourself just because other people and or institutions disagree with your decisions. The law of iron will allows you to commit your decisions to God and resolutely carry them out no matter what the odds of success may be, according to the opinions of the popular pundits of the day. Transformed, expanded, and evolved people have had to take a stand on ground that was not confirmed as solid by their detractors. Every significant breakthrough in science, education, and industry has come as the result of single-minded, steadfast opposition to the conventional wisdom of naysayers who fear change and cling to the presumed safety of the status quo. The master key to the law of iron will is your having a definite purpose or objective in your mind. Focus on the definite purpose or objective that your decision represents and concentrate on that purpose or objective while you are awake and while you are asleep. You will develop toughness of mind, tenacity of spirit, and tautness of emotions. This will help you to counter, withstand, and overcome all objections and negative assaults on those reactionary foes of your inner growth, outward expansion, and ultimate evolution. The law of iron will support and cradle you during difficult times when you're bringing to fruition the new product, service, or strategic application that you've created through your imagination and the skills and abilities you bring to the table. The law of iron will also protects you by focusing your mind on the rightness of your firm resolution. Now, the law of the mirror teaches that you need an external standard by which to view your behavior objectively, without fear or favor, and to which you can and must be held accountable. The law of the mirror teaches you to look at yourself early and often as your character, thoughts, and behavior are reflected in the Word of God. When you examine the standard for right thinking and behavior that is evident from Genesis to Revelation, then you can compare what you see in the standard to what you see yourself becoming according to that same standard. You're always becoming. The object of the law of the mirror is to encourage you to be perfectly yourself. Its job is to reveal to you what it sees in you, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And by so doing, encourage you to desire becoming a better you on a daily basis. The law of the mirror has no memory. It only illuminates where you are on the standard scale today. So You can't revel in yesterday's victories, nor can you wallow in today's defeats. The law of the mirror keeps you so focused on self-improvement today that you have no time or effort left to look at yesterday or anticipate tomorrow. As introspective as the law of the mirror is, it does not lead you to self-absorption, but rather to principled thoughts and behaviors toward helping and adding value to others. The law of abundance. This law teaches that you live in a world of abundance and not lack. All the water that has ever been on this planet is still here, although it is constantly recycling itself from liquid to solid to steam and gas. Not one new drop of water is added to, nor one old drop subtracted from the water supply. In the same way, all the wealth that has been amassed on this planet is still here. So, in terms of limitless resources, everything that has always been here is still here. Consequently, there is no scarcity of resources that are currently available to you. If you accept this first foundational principle, then it will affect your mindset in two specific ways. First, you will tend to be optimistic with hopeful expectations for the future. Second, you will have a positive attitude that whatever your goals in life, you will succeed in achieving them. Your mindset, the way you think, what you think about, and how you process thought determines what you believe, regardless of the facts. Even if there is no lack, but you believe in your mind that there is lack, then despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary, you will continue to see only lack. For you, every glass of water will be less than half empty and on its way to being completely empty forever. So a mindset of lack provides you with countless excuses for not developing the highest and best use of yourself, as well as the highest and best use of the resources you receive from others and those you're able to create for yourself. When you believe you can achieve something, you can and will achieve it. On the other hand, when you do not believe that you can achieve something, you cannot and will not achieve it. Your mindset, the way you think, determines your destiny. Finally, in order to thrive in your creative day, you must embrace the law of leadership. The law of leadership teaches that your leadership development is crucial to reaching your full potential to transform yourself, expand, and evolve into your best self. Leadership has been defined by many people in many different ways. For some, leadership is communicating to people a sense of their own inestimable worth and unlimited potential to such an extent that they actually come to see these qualities in themselves. For others, leadership is the function of those who guide, direct, or otherwise control the activities of others. However, at the most basic level, leadership simply means having influence that affects the behavior and or worldview of others within a particular sphere, whether that influence is negative or positive. Now, negative leadership is coercive. That is, it requires raw power, external force to maintain itself. Examples of negative leadership include threats from the gun, the law, economic reprisal, and negative propaganda that exploit people's fears. People follow negative leadership because they either they resonate with it psychologically, feel psychologically threatened, socially compelled, or physically forced to do so. Positive leadership is inspirational. That is, it requires soul power, internal values to perpetuate itself. Examples of soul power include the power of being, the power of behaving, the power of belonging, and the power of believing. The power of being is God's DNA within you. It is your power of imagination and creativity. The power of behaving is your ability to choose how you will act on your own. It is your power of choice. The power of belonging is the strength you feel when you work with others to accomplish goals that you could never reach alone. The power of believing is the faith that you generate that causes you to see the invisible and gives you direct access to the all originating spirit of God that lives within you in your superconscious mind. When you are ready to explore how these things can change your life, contact me and seize, move in, and thrive in your creative day today. Thanks for watching and share this video with others.